All right, peace, peace, peace. Well, first and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall is blessing your day. By His mercies, we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall's body, and to are naturally alive, man. And I want to get into this, man. Well, we want to go and get into this, man, because a lot of people doing, that's always around this time, like uh, each year. Last year I really didn't do it, but I really kind of I was reading the Maccabees a little bit last year, but this around this time period I kind of look at it and things, and they said I'm not reading it that long, along this time, but we're gonna touch on this thing, man, because what all that dedication and was really about was known as Hanukkah, man. With feast dedication is really about being dedicated to the Most High Yahushua. But with that being said, man, what we're gonna talk about is how even like all throughout the book, man, it's supposed to like that's what the gospel witness the testimonies about, man. Looking at the word through the Most High House's perspective, man. So we're gonna look at because today's the 14th, so I was kind of looking at First Maccabees 14 and Second Maccabees 14 as well. So we're gonna kind of look at that, man. How it even lines up with the gospel, man. Well, as far as a witness of Yahweh like in there, honestly, man. So we're gonna see that because like the brother Akawar said, man, we had to read read this through the Most High Yahushua's perspective. Why? Not just saying here, like not just saying, okay, we can pull Yahushua here and pull Yahushua here, like the brother of Assembly Firstborn said. No, it's because that, like he said in John 7 verse 38, we can believe on him as the scripture saith. Why? Because we can believe on somebody can like all through like that's consistent, mate. Well, you can believe on somebody and trusting somebody that doesn't change, that's consistent, man. So because even in the world, even in life, people tend to do that. What do we really trust with? Somebody that's consistent, honestly. Even like say example in the sports world, right? We trust people that have consistency, honestly, man. So that's just is what it is right there, man. So in that aspect, in that sport, they tend to you know trust more people that has been consistent throughout like their career. But that just aside, but yeah, man, that's just a thing about it though, man. So we gonna look because why it's the because of what the preaching the gospel is is for the strengthen the faith of in our God, man, of the believers, man. So we can trust in the Most High House, man. That's just is what it is, man. But let's just get into this, man, because because that's what the whole speech dedication or dedication is really about. It's about being dedicated to the Most High Yahushua, man. So let's get this too, and we're gonna see here how in second Evil Alchemist right here in Second Maccabees 14 how after he did what he did, he pretty much tried to conspire a lie against Judas, but this is just we're just gonna look at this, man. Second Maccabees chapter 14 verse 28, 27. No, it's hard verse 26. But Alchemist, because this Alchemist was he was just another Saul type of dude, another Saul type of nigga. Came very envious because he wanted to. He was like it was kind of a precursor of the Pharisees a little bit. He wanted to be a ruler or high priest, but he was wicked as hell. He wanted to like teach the law while breaking the law, kind of like the Pharisees was. See, that's another witness and testimony of Yahweh Shai right here, man. And honestly, that's one of the most judgment that the Most High Yahweh Shai gave him is that he gave him you know what they palsy pretty much, man, with I think on his mouth where he couldn't even speak because that's why the word says like, man, like those that have if you have a malicious soul, you'll die that way, honestly, man. So and also envy, that's is what it is with that. But let's just look at this again. um uh Second Maccabees chapter 14 verse 26. But alchemists or alchemists, I think alchemists perceiving the love that was betwixt them concerning the covenants that were made to Demetrius, and told him that Nicanor was not well affected toward the state, for that he ordained Judas, he ordained Judas, this is Judas Maccabees, a traitor to his realm, to be the king's successor. Verse 27. But then the kings being enraged and provoked with the accusations of the most wicked man, wrote to Nicanor, that he was much displeased with him with the covenants, and commanding him that he should send Maccabeus a prisoner in all haste unto Antioch. Verse 28. Here's the point. We're gonna see here. Here's a witness of Yahushua, a testimony witness right here. It says, and when this came to Nicanor hearing, he was confounded him in himself, and took it grievously that he should make void of the articles that were agreed upon, that the man being in no fault. So see that, man? Like, that's just is what it is right there, man. So this talking about Judas, like, because isn't this some parallel to something right here? Let's go to Luke real quick. Because it's talking about Judas Maccabees, like all because of envy of somebody. Now he's about to, alchemists wanted him to suffer with a man being of no fault. So let's go to Luke real quick. Then we're gonna go to John. And also too, we talked about this in the past too as well, because just like it said it in in the Maccabees. I forget what verse, but it says all the wars that Judas Maccabees fought couldn't be recorded in the book. Same thing when it says about Yahushua, John in John 21. Honestly, like all the stuff that Yahushua did couldn't be contained in the book, man. So that's is what it is, man. So, but that's even goes to like that Isaiah 8:20, the law and the testimony, because the Maccabees was time like the law, and the testimony was of course when Yahushua, man, the gospel, like everything that he did, wasn't recorded, man. So let's get Luke chapter 23. Luke 23, chapter verse 4, it says, then Pilate said to the chief priests, to the people, I find no fault in this man. So see that, man? It's the same recurring theme. The scripture, same motif, same recurring theme. It's like that movie, TV show, video game, whatever, man. Because it said right here, it said to the chief priest. Now, if y'all know the story of the Maccabees, especially with the story with Alchemist and do his contempt and stuff like that, his envy of the Maccabees is that because you know what too, this aside as well, man. I was just talking about this with my brother, and we talk about this a lot, man. Like there's a lot of ways that you could tell who someone is, man, because one, through trials and tribulation, through adversity. Two is when you say no to them. Three is when, honestly, like my mom says, like how like they treat others that in their life that really they can't really benefit from. Honestly, that's the and four, like the brother sent me first one said, put somebody in power and authority. Even the word says that. Then you can see who somebody really is, man, because that's really what the life is about, really, on just even on the natural side, about power dynamics, even in the word. But that's another story for another day, which we talked about, honestly. But that's just is what it is right there. Because we see here the chief, like with Alchemist, he wanted to be a priest, and and then he accused he had the same evil spirit of Satan, that accusing spirit, honestly, accused Judas Maccabees, just like the scribes, the Pharisees, the elders, they accused Yahushua, man. So let's look at this again. Let's Luke chapter 23 verse 4. It says, then said Pilate to the chief priests and to the people, I find no fault in this man. So see that. So now let's go to John 19:4 real quick. All right, John 19:4. Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto him, behold, I bring him forth that to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him. So see that? Yep. Let's get Second Maccabees again. Second Maccabees chapter 14 verse 28. When this came to Nicanor's hearing, he was much confounded in himself, and took it grievously that he should make void articles which were agreed upon the man being in no fault. Exactly, man. So I find no fault in this man. Like, is what it is, man. Because all Maccabees, because some people have their views and uh, um are very detractors, or they don't really agree with the Maccabees pretty much. But all the Maccabees, story of the Maccabees is Nehemiah 4:14. See, let's look at that real quick. Fight for your brother and your daughters, your son. That's all that it is, honestly, man. That's really all that is. And honestly, and Yahushua did all that stuff, because he fought sin and death for us, man. But let's get that Nehemiah 4:14 real quick. Yeah, it says, and I looked and rose up and said unto the nobles, to the rulers, to the rest of the people, be not afraid of them. Remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your houses. So see that? But it all starts in the spiritual, man, because, Yahushua is coming back, to bring war, man, against these other nations and things of that nature, man. But the spiritual war, because everything starts within, honestly. Because, first he fought sin and death, which is the most important battle. But then now, of course, in the second coming, he's going to do that, honestly. And that just goes to show you everything of the Most High House's timing. Because when we wanted our forefathers, our ancestors, even to this day, when Yahushua was on the scene, we wanted him to be a king like David. We wanted him to take Rome out, honestly. Now but not like the brother Kwame Call and Shalom said. Had he came the conventional way, man, we would went right back in captivity, again, man, because we're pretty much Yahushua came to, of course, set the captives free, came us really to stop us from the inward captivity, man, of ourselves, man, because, and those that oppress of the devil, man, honestly, that spiritual captivity, that Job 42 captivity, that's what it is, man. So that's the most of captivity that we're in, man, that inward woman captivity, man. That's what it's about. So that's, man. So hopefully it's edifying, man. That was something else I wanted to say, but man, that's just really it, man. So hopefully this is edifying. So peace.